Hello everyone. Quick follow-up to the last video on setting up a cloud function with DLT and loading the data into BigQuery. So there is more data that comes back from that API request from OpenWeather than I was capturing in the code in the last video. If we look here, I'm just going to query the data that has been loaded already. And today is 3/24/2025, so March 24th, 2025. And I'm looking after 5 p.m. And if we scroll across here, we can see we do have temp, feels like, humidity, pressure, wind speed, etc. And I'm not going to go into digging into the response from the API request because I don't want to have to deauth and reset those keys again in my project. But let me just show how you can update your code and what I think is really an awesome feature of DLT. Okay, so here I am with not exactly the same code. I actually updated my cloud function from a PC somewhere else, and I didn't save the code to GitHub. So, oh no, what do I do now? Well, as I showed in the last video, we can go to cloud storage and buckets, and I can see the last time I updated it was, it looks like 9/34 on March 21st. Okay, so if I go in here, I can just download my code. And if I go ahead and open that up, I'm going to grab all of that. And then just back here, I'm going to paste it so my code is up to date. Now, here, well, and I will try to put this in the GitHub repo, linked in the first video. Well, link it in the description of this video, so you just see what the change is. So here we have the columns that we were getting. We just saw those in BigQuery. I'm going to update this transform data function. I'm trying to do it kind of quick here, as I believe when we query that API, it's going to start at the current hour. And well, that's the way I've got the query set up in BigQuery, to look 5 p.m. and later. So let me just go ahead and Control V. That all looks good. I'm going to save it. And I already did the cloud init switch to the correct project. And so we are just going to need to redeploy this if my paste works. Let's see. I'm copying that from the other screen. Let's see. There we go. So that all looks good. I'm deploying to my project. The function name is the same. You'll just have to take my word on that. Gcloud command not found. Oh, it looks like I have a little, I guess you'd call that a tilde at the front. Let me take care of that. And while that's updating, that's going to spin up. Let's just go back to BigQuery. And if you're not very familiar with BigQuery, you can highlight a single statement and then run it. What I want to do is get the count. And so right now I have 125 records. And let's see here. I have 47 that are 5 p.m. today or later. I'll just make myself a little note here. Make that a little bigger. Feel like I knew a way to shrink this down a little better, but it escapes me at the moment. Okay, that's still updating. So actually, while that's going, I can walk through why I'm testing it this way. So I am merging on a primary key of DT, which is the epoch timestamp that you see at the beginning of these records. Oh, I guess it was there as well, but right there. So rather than creating a new record, it should see that it already exists. And with DLT, it should automatically say, hey, that record exists. We're loading this. It has new data. Overwrite the data that's there. And actually, that's going to take a moment, so I'm not going to pause it. I'll just do one more, I guess, demo here. So if we look here, we're going to grab this and we will do a select star from, and I'm going to paste this rather than type it. Because that is a lot of finger exercises. So if we look at just this record, 6 p.m. today, so that one should be updated when we rerun. If I run that now, we look, and we see we have wind degree, clouds, visibility, but that is all. So then once we run this, we should also see the weather ID, the weather main, the weather description, the weather icon. And that's popping out of, well, I guess it's a list containing one dictionary, and those are the keys in that dictionary. How is that getting those? Well, that piece is right here. So ID, main, description, and icon. And I just kind of put those on the end here, or prepended those with weather, so I know where they're coming from. All right, so I did cut out a piece there, or at least hopefully I remembered to. It only took about a minute, but I ran out of things to say, so let's go here. So the function was updated, but of course it hasn't run yet. So if we query this data again, it looks the same. So from another window here, I'm just going to go to Cloud Scheduler and zoom out a little bit and force run. And if you notice, the last run was definitely after 4 a.m. It's because when I did the last video, I deauth those API keys, but then forgot to come back to this project and update those. So then I ran it as catch up or to catch up, and noticed that some of the fields I wanted weren't present. Let's refresh and see if that actually ran. Okay, so that looks good. Now if I come back here, we should have, there we go. Weather main, weather description, weather icon, weather ID. And if we rerun this one, we will see that all of these records have been updated. And let's see which direction that's going. Oh, not really ordered. I guess I could check the weather another way if I'm worried about rain. And if we go in here and we select the count, there's probably going to be, yeah, there's one more record, just because when I reran it, it was 4:47 p.m., so it would have grabbed 4 p.m. Forward for 47 records, and now it's 5 p.m. forward. So those records got updated, which is really cool because notice I didn't get an error saying those columns didn't exist. I didn't get duplicate columns saying, well, with the same epoch timestamp. It saw those records already existed, and because we have merge and we have a primary key specified, again, BigQuery doesn't really use primary keys, but that's a very powerful tool if you're looking to update records with the with the most up-to-date information and minimal code, because you can just say this is newer. If it already exists, go ahead and update it. But that's it for this video. Just wanted to do a quick follow-up, and if you maybe didn't save your code correctly, show how you can grab that code, and also if you want to add additional information, it's really easy just to kind of update, redeploy, rerun, and then going forward your data will be there. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in another one.